Hello and welcome back to the Brummie Show YouTube channel. If you are new around here, why not hit subscribe and click that bell to see some of my future uploads. What am I going to be talking about today? It's all about the top 6, who's going up automatically, who's going to be in the playoffs, and more importantly, who's going to win the playoffs. There's a lot going on, there's 7 games to go, so let's talk about it. Before we get into it, just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors at OneFootball. They are supporting the channel every single video. I really appreciate it, and it is genuinely, for me, the best app on the market. It's got 4.8 out of 5 stars on the App Store, and that's from 48,000 reviews. The reviews don't lie. Go and check it out. The link is down in the description if you do want to download it, and you won't regret it. But without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So as I said, there are 7 games of the season left and the promotion race is really heating up. Norwich are sat at the top with a 7-point cushion between them and 3rd place Sheffield United. So they're feeling relatively confident that they're going to push through. And they've had an amazing season under Fark. Last season they had a few creases to iron out, but this season everything's clicked. A lot of people thought they wouldn't do as well after losing Maddison in the summer, but they've just got better and better and better. I thought Leeds were going to be the ones that were going to walk away with it this season, but no. Fair play to Norwich, hats off. Norwich have a 7-point cushion between them and 3rd place Sheffield United. It's been an amazing season for the Canaries, and it looks like they'll be back in the Premier League next season after a 3-year break. For me, I think 2nd place is going to be really hard to choose. Leeds and Sheffield United, they're just very equal at the minute for me. They've got very, very similar run-ins. And it's going to be tricky. You know, Sheffield United actually beat Leeds, and that's why it's so even at the minute. If anything, though, I just think Leeds have got a bit more about them this season. They're, like, on paper, the better team. Marcelo Bielsa as well. If they don't finish top 2, it'll be a real disappointment for Leeds. And I think Sheffield United, yeah, they're punching above their weight a little bit, but it's the Championship and anything can happen. And Billy Sharp's been amazing for Sheffield United this season. So there's every chance that they could take that 2nd spot. But for me, I'm going to say Leeds. Do you agree with this? Let me know down in the comments. But now let's get straight into the playoffs. Right, let's get straight into the playoffs now. And I have got my 3rd to 6th place. In this order, I'll be going through the teams. So obviously in 3rd place, I've got Sheffield United. I think they're going to be one of the more solid teams going into the playoffs. For me, United's key players are Ollie Norwood and Billy Sharp. Norwood has been a sensational summer signing, a proper creative midfielder, and I wish Blues had him, especially as we were linked with him in the summer. Billy Sharp has also been on fire, scoring 23 goals this season. Sheffield United have been fairly consistent this season. They've sort of snuck up on me, if I'm honest. I'm not always paying full attention to the league table, and then all of a sudden, they're up there in the playoffs. They're in with a shout of actually getting an automatic spot. And credit to them for doing that. I mean, Billy Sharp, 23 goals this season. I think he's 33 years old, and he's having an amazing season. Personally, I'd like them to say go up through the playoffs. I'd like them to go up through the playoffs just for Billy Sharp. He's had an amazing season, and it'll be just amazing if he could take them up. And it also means Villa don't go up, so you know there's that. In 4th place, I've got West Bromwich Albion. Since Darren Moore's sacking, West Brom have bagged 9 points from 9 with wins against Swansea, Brentford and unfortunately Blues on the weekend. Let's not talk about that, shall we? I was a bit shocked by it, to be honest. Darren Moore came out today saying he was a little bit shocked, but Shan seems to be playing a system that favours the Baggies, and if they can keep the momentum up, they'll be a tricky team to face in the playoffs. They've won 3 out of 3 games since sacking Darren Moore, and it could just be the new manager effect, I don't know. But if they can carry this on for the rest of the season and bring that form into the playoffs, they'll have every chance of going back up. For me, Jay Rodriguez and Dwight Gale have just been ideal together. They've got 36 goals between them this season. They've been the absolute key to West Brom, and as long as they can keep scoring, the Baggies will definitely fancy themselves in the playoffs. They're well and truly set in the playoffs. They're 12 points off 7th place Bristol City. Bristol City do have 2 games in hand though, so they'll have to keep an eye on that. They obviously just, if they have terrible form, they could still drop out a bit, But you'd probably think that they'll be in with a shout now. 7 games to go. It's coming so soon. Where does the season go? I don't know. To be fair, Baggies could still have a shot at the automatic places if it was a massive upset. But you never know. The Championship is a very strange league. There are 7 games to go. If Baggies do go on a run, there's no reason that they couldn't get an automatic spot. In at number 5, I unfortunately have to talk about Aston Villa. I was hoping they wouldn't. I wouldn't have to talk about them in this video, but I have to look at it from an unbiased point of view. This is a Championship video, and to be honest, they've gone on a good run. They've gone on a really good run since Jack Grealish came back. I think they've won 5 out of 5 games. Obviously, one of them against us. So yeah, he's definitely had an effect on the team, whether it be on both on the pitch and off the pitch. He's pushed them up there. The thing for me is, can they keep it up? Are they going to be able to keep doing it? Sometimes with that fan base, if you get 1 or 2 losses, everything can change. The whole atmosphere can change. It gets a lot more intense, a lot of nervousness at the games. So you never know. It's these 7 games will be really important for them. And Bristol City are going to be really sniffing around because they've got 2 games in hand on them. So they could currently, I think they could push them down to 6th, but they've got to keep an eye on the teams around them. However, I do think they're playing well and they're beating the teams around them, which is why they are where they are. So I have to say that they'll be in the playoffs because I can't see them not at this current rate, unfortunately. If they don't get promoted, you'd expect this to be Grealish's last season at Villa Park, with Premier League teams keeping tabs on him. If they don't get promoted, you'd expect this to be Grealish's last season at Villa Park, with Premier League teams keeping tabs on him. If they were to get promoted, you probably would expect him to stay. And I've spoke to a few Villa fans. A lot of them are just saying they've got to go up this season or they could be in trouble. Knowing them, they are jammy sods, so they probably will. They've hit form at the perfect time, really. It's approaching the end of the season and they've got positive momentum, and this is what I was telling my boss at work as well, before they actually got into the playoff spots. I was like, when you've got good momentum and the other teams are sort of stagnating, it's very easy. It's very easy to sort of fly up there. You put a run of wins together and this is exactly what happens. And taking the final playoff space, I do have Bristol City. I've decided not to go for Derby or Borough. Personally, I just think their season's fizzling out. Derby are in with a shout. They had a big 6-1 win against Rotherham. But again, they've got to start beating the teams around them. They had a big game against Villa not long ago, which was massive. And they just seem to completely bottle it. But yeah, sure, they could get in there. They had Bristol City had a bit of a dip in form. But if they can get a run together now, they can be definitely in with a shout. Bristol City are facing 3 of the top 6 in their running. They've got 2 games in hand on the top 6 as well, so it's definitely in their hands. It's just whether they can take advantage of it. However, they did beat one of the teams around them, which was Sheffield United, at the weekend, with Vyman getting a hat-trick. I just think, okay, maybe this could be the start of another run. I think Bristol City are a team that does like to... They go on good runs and bad runs, and if they can put a good run together now, which I think they definitely could, then there's no reason why they shouldn't be up there. As I say, those games against the teams around them are absolutely pivotal. Bristol City don't really tend to have a player that's scoring a ton of goals for them. They've got Diediu, scored 11 goals this season, but he's a threat up top. He makes life difficult for the defenders, and the other players can feed off his scraps. It honestly all depends on how they play in their next few games and whether they can make the games in hand count. Bristol City are a very hard team to beat. They're very scrappy. They're very physical. I think they could make life difficult for the teams around them. And I've got them in as a little bit of a dark horse, to be honest. So I've got my top 6 as Norwich top of the table, Leeds behind them, Sheffield United 3rd, West Brom, Villa, and then Bristol City. So you'll see Sheffield United versus Bristol City in the first playoff semi-final. I do think it'll be tight, but honestly, I think Sheffield United will edge this over 2 legs. Even though Bristol City won the fixture on the weekend, I think Sheffield will have more about them. It's one of them where Bristol City, yeah, they could probably win over 1 leg and stuff, but will they have enough to do it over 2? Maybe. I think in this one, it could depend who gets the first goal, to be honest. And in the second semi-final, we've got West Brom v Villa. West Brom have taken 4 points from Villa this season, so it'll be no easy task. I'm finding it hard to decide this one, but I do think Villa will have more quality over the two legs, unfortunately. So I'm going for a 2-1 Villa over the two legs. So that makes a Sheffield United versus Villa final. You know what I'm going to say, but I honestly think it will be a repeat of last season for Villa. They're going to get so far and bottle it a little bit in the final. That's what I think anyway. Sheffield United have also taken 4 points from Villa this season. It should have been 6. If you remember the 3-3 game where Sheffield United were 3-0 up and they bottled it due to some poor defending and poor goalkeeping. So yeah, it could be an interesting one, but you know, Villa are in a different form now, so it does depend, and it does depend if Jack Grealish stays fit as well, because I feel like he has a massive effect on that team, and if he's out, if he's suspended or whatever, it can really change that side. So yeah, I do think it's going to be tight, but I'm going to go for 1-0 Sheffield United after extra time. I think it's going to be that tight. Anyway, that's it for my predictions for the playoffs and the automatic spots. If you want to hear me ramble on more about the championship, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If I get 200 likes, I'm going to do a relegation discussion where obviously Blues are involved, Rotherham are involved, Bolton are still not out of it. There's a load of teams around there and it's going to be a tricky one. There's a lot of teams that are still looking over their shoulders wondering whether they're going to go down or not this season. So I do think that'll be a good video to make. But hopefully you're enjoying this style and that's it, yeah. Remember, if you want to be a member, just click that join button down below for some special perks. I'm going to be doing members only live streams when I hit 10 members. So it's going to be quite exciting. Hopefully we can get that moving. And you can throw ideas at me for videos, and also I'm going to be making it so you can get the videos a little bit earlier as well. But that'll be that. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.